Hello, I'm Captain Jason Burns, and welcome to Sobremesa. Sobremesa is a video talking about the Salvation Army through the Central Virginia area. And really what Sobremesa is the concept of having dessert and conversation. My guest this morning is Mr. Hugh Jones. Mr. Jones has been part of the Salvation Army family for many years. He'll tell us how many years here in a second. And so we're excited to have this conversation about Mr. Jones. Hugh and I both started in the Boys and Girls Club at the same time. Our paths have taken different trajectories. He's stayed in his same club, and I've gone on and done other things in my life. But it's been neat to see that the time that we started here together in different states and different parts of the Salvation Army world has been intersected now here in Virginia, here specifically in Richmond.
That's right.
For that. But so tell us a little about yourself. Maybe your growing up years. What was some of the foremost impressions on your mind kind of growing up?
Well, I'm glad to be here this morning. Let me just say that first. I'm the middle child of five, right in the middle there. So really amazing to have a great family. Started the Boys and Girls Club, believe it or not, kind of in a tragedy, to be honest. My father was a college professor. He graduated from Harvard University, was on a fast track to be a college president. And then in one summer, when he was traveling to New York, he was shot and killed by a police officer. So our Boys and Girls Club experience with my brother and I started out kind of rocky. However, it was the best thing for us. My mom had a providence of God. She put us in the Boys Club, and that was the stability that we needed to recover and to heal and to grow and to flourish. And it really blessed me, no question about it. I love the Boys and Girls. I always get mixed up because I'm the Boys Club member. Let me get that straight.
Yeah.
I can tell my age there, but I'm a Boys Club member. But it really impacted my life in a powerful way. Boys and Girls Club of America did a study, and they said 54% of alumni say the club actually saved their lives. I believe I'm a part of that. Not that I was a bad kid, but young people deal with so many things. I just remember the day my mom told me that my father was killed. I remember just, number one, saying something like, I know my father wouldn't want me to cry, which is really amazing. I stuffed it all in, but the club brought that out of me. It made me return back to normalcy, which is really powerful. And through the programs and all the wonderful things they provided and the secret sauce, which they call the staff, it made a difference in my life. It really did. It really did.
When you came to the club, it was Boys Club. Now, that changed in, was it 83, 84, somewhere in there? What impact have you seen in that change from just being a boys club that allowed girls in sometimes to being a boys and girls club and that collective change?
Yeah. Well, I will first start saying that it was phenomenal just having the boys there together. I think about the rich history that we have. I think about the camaraderie that we have with the boys that were there at that time, many coming from single-parent households as well. It was just phenomenal just looking at their lives now, how it impacted them. Think about some guys, doctors, lawyers, state troopers. All of us grew up in that neighborhood, and it just really impacted us in a powerful way. I thank God for girls being in the Boys and Girls Club now. Girls need it too. I believe it's a transformational time when boys and girls can be in a facility where they have adult connections, you have powerful programs, and you have people that really care about you. It makes a difference in your life, no question.
It does. So how did you become acquainted with this club? I know you started working here in the late 90s and have moved up to be the director, but this club here specifically, here on the east side of Richmond, here off of R Street, what is it about this club and how did you get acquainted to it?
Well, interesting story. I remember being in my college years, and I remember I had three major things that just really impacted me during that time. Number one, gave my life to Christ. I was really ministered to by my barber, believe it or not, who just really just shared the love of Christ to me, and that transformed me. It made me think. I remember just being at VCU at the time. I remember calling my mentor saying, although I'm in public relations and mass communications, there's something missing. And Dick Guthrie told me, why don't you go back and visit the Boys and Girls Club? Why don't you go back and volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club? And it was Boys and Girls Club at that time. This was the club that I volunteered at.
Okay.
I came, I actually learned photography at the Boys Club with Mr. Guthrie. And it's amazing because that's what I came here to do. I started as a volunteer doing a photography program.
Wow.
What was amazing about that was I would always do the program, love the kids, it just reminded me so much of myself. I would always ask this question, Captain, afterwards, how your parents are doing, how's your mom, girls, boys, mom's fine. When I asked the question about the dads, oh my goodness. You would get answers as far as the east is from the west, from a good father to I don't know my father, or my father's incarcerated, my father's deceased, or he's there, but he's not. And I remember at that moment right there, walking in that hallway down here, the Lord spoke to me and said, I'm going to turn your misery into your ministry, your misery into. So I was dealing with that. And at that particular point, although it was an issue in my life back then, he said he's going to draw that out of me and see myself in others and be able to minister to them and help them. So that's why I stuck around. I stuck around as a volunteer. I stuck around so long. They said, do you want a job here? I said, well, no, I got a different path, but I thought I had a different path, but God had just something else in mind. Started out in the games room, took a part-time position there, interim program director, interim executive director, and I said, I don't want to do that. I love being with the kids, didn't want to do that, but I had a dream that one of the Salvation Army officers came to me and said, I want you to apply for this position. A dream. Because like I said, I wouldn't have took it. I said, they would train you. And believe it or not, exactly like the dream happened, one of the officers came and told me that.
That's neat.
And I took the position, like I said, the training and different things like that. It gives me an opportunity to impact the kids on a different level when you're in that position. Just seeing the programs, just seeing the partnerships, seeing how we can affect the lives of young people by exposing them to so many things. Over the years, we've had tremendous staff members. Think about the Crenshaws, think about the Harrises, the Allens. We've had some wonderful people here. And like I said, it's really allowed us to do some powerful things in this community. And I love the East End community.
So you talked about the neat thing about seeing kids from this community grow up here. And I think that's one of the blessings that you've had as a director that I didn't get. I mean, I was only a director for 6 years, and I saw a lot of growth in my kids. I mean, like the kids that came in as first and second graders were going into high school, and I know I felt really old when one of our kids who came in as a fifth grader graduated high school and went to college, and I'm going, where'd the time go?
I'm getting older.
Right? I didn't quite have as much gray hair then. I had hair. I'm sure you don't go to your barber as often now as you used to.
For different reasons.
But it was always neat to me to see that growth in kids and our students and our club members over that period of time. Talk with me about a couple of those that you've seen. Their background. You don't have to give us names. Just kind of just generalize, visit with people. Just kind of where you've seen some of that growth in some of our students.
It's amazing. I love this quote by Gaston Bacard, which is a French philosopher, and I always love using it, but it says, even a minor event in the life of a child is a world event. And I love the Boys and Girls Club because so many things happen around here that a young person can find their kind of niche in life. And it's so powerful because I've seen young people. I mean, I'll give you one example that I love using. It's a young lady who's now a lawyer. And this young lady, believe it or not, she could talk with the best of them.
She spent a lot of time in timeout, didn't she?
You look, you're right on my page here. Wonderful though, but she could communicate, and it's so amazing to watch how she blossomed and flourished in her great family. And she invited me to her bar. When she took them, got to the bar,
sworn in,
amazing. And it makes you think like, wow, to be able to spend your years investing in the life of another person is amazing. I'm not saying that we contribute to everything because I had a great family and went to church and different things like that, but we played an important part in that. The after-school program and the summer program, giving them something constructive to do, opportunities to be experiencing so many different things. It's just amazing, as far as things like that.
And then we've got the other side of that. We have kids that come in and out of our lives that we pour our lives into, and they're not able to turn that corner. And as I'm talking, I'm thinking about 10 kids that come to my mind right now from my life and work. What does it feel like? And talk to me about how you go through the processes of when you've had a kid, they didn't get it, and you find out where they end up. And what does that feel like?
Well, it's amazing because, Captain, you actually do take on the fact that you're almost like a parent.
Yeah.
It's almost like a home away from home. So when a child takes that turn and goes down that road, it really hurts a lot. We've had some young people who have died prematurely, and it wrecks you. You want to see every kid flourish. The Salvation Army, I love the tagline, "Need knows no season."
Yeah.
Every season, every reason, there's something we can do for a young person. And young people deal with so many things in this hour. But we know we possibly can't win them all, but we want to do our best to try to. But it does, it affects us and it hurts us when we see them go down that road.
How has that changed how you view our work in the Boys and Girls Club? Has it strengthened that resolve? Because oftentimes we can get discouraged.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one of the things and one of the reasons, and you asked me why this club, I love the fact that I can be a part of the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm. I call it the best of both worlds, the Salvation Army and the Boys and Girls Club. Yeah. Two major brands, two major organizations. I love the fact that we have those programs from Boys and Girls Club and the support, but I love the Salvation Army for the spiritual guidance that we can give young people and give them opportunities to grow not only here but for eternity. Yeah. That's important. So even the kids who may not get it, hopefully they received in their heart, Jesus, and hopefully they receive some things they heard that even if they're incarcerated or wherever they may be, they have an opportunity. Hopefully still get it right, even though they're not here. Yeah. They might have received that seed or that word or that encouragement to say, you know what, I remember early bird, I remember the devotional times and different things like that. That's important. That's along with the program. So I always call it, we have our 4 areas here at the Boys and Girls Club, but I love the fact that our 6th one, we call it the golden thread, which is morality and values. And that's where our spiritual components come in. And it's kind of woven in a lot of the programs that we have. So it's very important.
We are sitting in an absolutely beautiful facility. But this facility was remodeled about 2 years ago. And before that, it was not quite at the level that it is today. Talk with me about that change that you've seen in the kids coming to a club. While it had great staff, it had good programming, coming into this revitalized facility. Talk with me about that change and how was it for you and even for the staff? Yeah. Come in and going, wow, we've got great lighting now. We've got our basketball goals are falling down. Pool. We've got air conditioning. Talk with me about kind of that change you've seen over the last couple of years with our kids and our program.
Yeah, it's phenomenal the support we received to be able to have this wonderful $8 million renovation, no question about it, and to be a steward of it for our community as well as our young people. I think the young people coming in now, it's a little different, to be honest. Okay. Believe it or not, this is all they know. Yeah. So it's like, but what I love to hear is when the alumni come back and say, oh my goodness, look at this place here.
Why didn't you do this when I was here?
Exactly. Look at this. I think about that $1 million pool. Yeah. They swim in a pool that we can only swim, in the summertime, because it was cold, too cold. Yeah. Yeah. And of course the building had a lot of miles on it, but the thing that I really think the most is the fact that, thank God for the building. But it's what happens in the building. Yeah. It's almost like the church. Absolutely. Thank God for the place we come to. Yeah. But we collectively are the church. Yeah. And the Boys and Girls Club and the spirit of the Boys and Girls Club is what really, and the people that work here, it's really that secret sauce that I mentioned earlier that makes the difference. So whether we are, whatever we do in the building, and like I said, it's phenomenal what we do here. Dance studio and recording studio. This is the
game room, teen center.
2021. So we have to up the ante in a sense, but like I said, coupled along with those great partners who come in and teach in the media lab and Bear Soul Yoga and Live Red and all these type of organizations that come in to kick it up a whole nother notch. It's phenomenal what we do in this facility, and not just what we do with the Boys and Girls Club here, but also Oasis and inviting the community to come in and be more healthy and exercising and have memberships as far as that.
So it sounds like a little bit that for a long time, Boys and Girls Clubs, and even a lot of units have said, what do we do in our building is more important. But it almost feels like we are starting to shift that a bit to say the club isn't just about its members here, it's about enriching the lives of family and community
Absolutely.
in our surrounding environment. And that's a big shift for us, isn't it?
It is.
It's a different way of thinking.
It is.
How has that changed for you and your way of understanding of, we work with our kids here and we work with our families, but there is a larger group of people that we're starting to work with.
We're just at the National Boys and Girls Club Summit for the Salvation Army, and one of the commanders actually talked about getting back to the mission of the Salvation Army. That's one of the things we want to do. And even with our strategic plan, yes, we want to minister to our kids, and that will always be our first priority.
Yeah.
However, we have a community and we have families, and we really do have to think beyond just here. I mean, I love the fact that I call it in club hours when the kids are here, but how do we utilize and maximize the facility when the kids are not here?
Yeah.
I mean, so the community can come in and use a facility or basketball league. I mean, we do so many things. I love the commissioner. He actually said the same thing. He said, one of the low-hanging fruit is just to open up the door to the community. And this is what this facility is all about.
Absolutely.
It really is. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So 2020 was an interesting year for us.
I guess it was.
And it was for everybody. I mean, it's the year that people want to change. But I think for us, especially in the club, it was an incredibly creative year for us. Walk us through what happened in this facility and this program in the year 2020 and kind of some of the shifts that the club staff and the club had to make in serving our community.
2020 was it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Think about it. This would have been our first full school year in the building. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, we were excited. Had a full staff, had an expanded staff.
Running more kids than we had in a long time.
Yes.
And we're on that pace to break records. And
yes.
And then February hits.
February hit, and then March 13th, we actually closed.
Yeah.
And we actually furloughed as far as even our Boys and Girls Club workers. However, the commander at the time, air commander at the time, he actually said, why don't we take the facility and transform it to be a homeless shelter? Mm-hmm. And we had to...
Hold on, a homeless shelter in a Boys and Girls Club?
Absolutely.
Can we do that?
It's prime space, prime real estate for it. So in the shelters as far as downtown, Salvation Army downtown or at Caritas, one of the things they want to do is separate people to be distanced. And look at the facility we have. So we have ladies in the gym. We had men downstairs, and they had enough space on cots and 3 meals a day. And one of the blessed things that happened was our staff was able to work if they desired to, and around the clock, which is really powerful and serve the need as far as that. That's what I love about the Salvation Army. Yeah. Because like I said, that's the mission for us. We were essential workers.
Yeah. And you still are.
Boys and Girls Club, essential workers. I mean, you think about it, it's on the front line. So that happened, and we did that for 70 days. And then after that, we said, you know what? I said, mate, we have to open up for the summer program. A lot of people didn't. It was so many unknowns, but we said, I heard so many testimonies from parents, and parents were just saying our children are just kind of just withering, and thank God for the virtual programming, but can we get them out the house? And we opened up the Boys and Girls Club for a summer program.
Summer day camp. Yeah,
and that was powerful. We did that for, I think, like 3 months. Yeah. And great time. Didn't have any cases that, that affected our kids. All the safety protocols, CDC, the government.
You guys are having more fun than I was, and I kind of wanted to come over here more often.
Yeah. But again, testimony, one of the parents actually said that, Mr. Jones, I'm so glad that you're open for the summer. My daughter's so vibrant. This young lady was so vibrant, but she would go to her room. She would get on her phone. At one point, she was just tired of doing that, But she just said that, when she came back to the Boys and Girls Club that summer, it was like a flower just began to blossom all over again. And she was so vibrant and so happy.
A human interaction beyond her family.
Absolutely. That socialization is so important. Yeah. And if you can imagine what adults are dealing with, and we hear so many stories about adults being shut down and stay-in home orders and different things like that, and social, just all those type of things. We don't even know how that's going to affect kids for years to come.
We don't.
But I am so glad that we're positioned, the space that we have, that we can offer it, and we can work within the guidelines of the state and the city to offer programs and give some normalization to young people.
And so summer was over, and Richmond Public Schools made their decision to go virtual for the first, I think it was like 8 weeks, and then and now we're still in the virtual component for that. And I came to you, and we had a conversation of, okay, so what do we do?
Yeah.
Right. So talk with me through this fall. And now going into the spring, and what has changed with the club and how we interact with students.
So historically, we have after-school program.
Yeah, absolutely. So summer day camp and after school.
So that means now we have a longer day. One of the things, again, that we saw just holding the needs of our parents, which is so important. A lot of our parents are essential workers on the front line. So we said, and just like we have to open up for them. Yeah. And even if it's an unlimited number, which was 40 at the time that we could have, we made space in our Boys and Girls Club, transformed the games room area, made it a classroom, other places that we can have classrooms. And we have 4 major classrooms, 2 for the young people, 1st through 5th, and then we had 6th through 12. And we offered those programs for our young people. So from 8 o'clock to maybe 2:30, they're on their computers, that we have what's called a facilitated learning center, where we help them as far as facilitate their learning experience. Great facilitated Wi-Fi. I mean, everything they need.
We're able to handle it.
Get
we wouldn't have been able to without the
oh my God.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been here. Meals, got a breakfast as well as lunch. I mean, amazing program. Wonderful staff as far as that as well. And been great results so far. It's been really challenging for some young people. I think, they're not used to really being on that screen all day unless it's their telephone or
video games, YouTube.
Right. But like I said, the socialization piece is just as important. So after they get out of school, that's when we actually work from 2:30 to maybe 5 o'clock, having some type of programs for, in those core areas that we have, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's life skills, whether it's, educational programs, art. That's when they have an opportunity to unwind and do some things like that, learn and grow.
That's neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
So we talk about the future. We work with the next generation, and hopefully this next generation will then work with their next generation and will inspire maybe another club director that's come through that you've interacted with. But talk with me about the future of this club. When you look ahead, you've been here for almost 20 plus years. You've been here over 20 years, and you've seen a lot happen. What do you imagine the next 20 years are going to be?
When I think about that, Captain, I honestly look at what's going on in our world right now. I think we're really positioned to be a place of healing, a place of hope, right in this community right here. Our community is changing. Our world is changing. So just like we talked about, we're always going to meet the needs of our young people, but also opening our doors that we can facilitate conversations and have dialogues and have learning experiences. Really meet the needs of our community in various ways. We're doing a strategic plan right now, which is amazing, allowing us to think beyond where we are. It's been a great experience just thinking about what are the possibilities. And when we think about Oasis as far as our wellness center, we're thinking about the health of our community. When we think about all the things, all the programs and the partners that we have, we're really thinking how can we really get the greatest impact out of what we're doing. So we're planning beyond where we are. I'm planning beyond where I am. Believe it or not, this is my 27th year, but I worked
7 years.
I thought about it this morning, 3 other years at the other Boys and Girls Club.
30 years you've been working with
Half of my life, I'm 60 years old, half of my life I've been given to this cause.
No wonder you don't have any hair left.
That's right. But it's been a joy, no question about it.
Great. Now, in those 30 years of time, I'm going to ask probably the hardest question of the day. What is your favorite memory in that 30 years of time working at the club? What is your greatest or favorite memory of that time?
I'm going to tell you, it really touches me. Got me crying. It's not like more sports
we don't have Kleenex,
sports centers.
It's not $1 million contract. but
I'm going to tell you, it's the little things in life that really matters. So many wonderful things we've done here. we've done some great camps in the summer with summer camp on the Hill with Richmond Hill and bringing black churches and white churches together, help start that program. We've done some great initiatives. Oh my gosh. Like I said, great staff members we've had here. But to hear a kid say, this is crazy when you hear it. Yeah. And I just heard it not too recently in a different form, and I tell you, when you hear a kid call you, that's my dad, it does something to you. Because that was the thing that God said he was going to use in my life to help somebody else. Yeah. It was so funny the other day, this kid came up to me and said, Mr. Jones, you're my stepdad. I'm saying, my stepdad? I mean, what does that mean? Kids say that to the darndest thing. Yeah. But just the affection of them saying that, knowing that I care about them, I'm here for them, want to go the extra mile for them, it means the world to me.
And you're steady. You're here every day.
Yep.
You're here rain or shine. And it makes a difference in the lives of children and even adults when they know I might be having a bad day, but Mr. Jones is going to be there. Yeah. And I'll just give him a hug. I don't have to tell him, but I know he's going to be there because he is that rock that has been part of my life. Yeah. And so now you're getting me to cry here.
And not only just the kids here, but to see alumni come back or to call you. Yeah. Just like I called my mentor, Dick Guthrie now. Yeah. It's just amazing. It's amazing what the club does. And it's not just me, but it's all the kids that have other staff members they connect to. From the Boys Club of Richmond to the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, I've had the best of both worlds, no question. And I'm eternally grateful for that.
Well, that's incredible. Well, Hugh, thank you so much for your service. And we look forward to the next 30 years of you working with us in this capacity. So Sobremesa, the whole concept is that we'd have a great conversation and then we have dessert. Well, here in front of us, we have what's called Brigadeiros. It's a dessert that a very precious couple from Brazil introduced us to when we were serving in Portugal on missionary service. And I have to warn you, they're addicting. But here they're it's condensed milk and it's sugar and there's something else in there. My wife prepared them and she loves them. So we're just going to have the rest of our conversation around dessert. So thank you, Mr. Jones, for your time. We're so grateful for your service and your dedication and the lives that you've affected through the Boys and Girls Club. So let's
give it a go.
Let's partake. Brigadeiro.
Ooh, it looks rich.
It is.
Thank you so much. It's good.